Welcome back to Build Propulsion Lab at Devoxx France 2024, live from Paris. And my next guest is Jean-Francois.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you for coming. And Jean-Francois, you delivered a talk about the most catastrophic bugs in history of IT.
Yes, exactly.
This is fascinating. This is great. I mean, I can only think about how fun it was to research it, and how it was like, whoa, that was terrible, and this kind of stuff. Tell me, let's start with the most horrific bug in the history of IT.
Okay, so yeah, it was a bit overwhelming because some of these bugs are really terrible. So obviously people will think about what's very costly bugs. So you got plenty of rockets that blow up, NASA stuff that was lost in space. But to me, the most catastrophic bug ever is the first bug that killed people.
Oh wow, bugs that actually killed people, bugs
Yes.
in software.
Yes.
Tell us more.
So actually, I did extensive research on that, and I only got 15 minutes for my talk, so I know more than what I explained. It's a machine that is called the CERAC 25, and it's a radiotherapy for cancer patients. And basically, this device has two modes. One to treat on surface, one with X-ray to treat the tissue inside. And turns out, if you edit the mode at the wrong time, then you will have a much higher power radiation, and then you can kill people. The terrible thing is that it was decided because the generations before of the machines, CERAC 6 and 20, they could be, you could use it with a computer, but it was not mandatory, and there were all kinds of fail-safe that were mechanical. For the 25 model, they went full computer, even for the security features. Because computers are reliable, they didn't get stuck or something, and then the people found that, yeah, that's a great idea, except that it was full of bugs because they reused some software from the previous generations, and it seems that it was only one single programmer to port the code and make new code for the new machine.
And there was no code review. There was nothing. So whatever bugs he implemented there, no one actually caught it until people start to get hurt.
No, because actually this is a great paper about that by, if I remember well, Nancy Livingston, I hope I'm right, that explained how the bug happened and what was the reaction of the hospitals and then the manufacturer. And then they discovered that no, there was no code review, and the QA service from the company failed to give the how to make the test plan and all to FDA, because there were cases actually in all North America. It was a Canadian company, so there were cases in Canada and in US, and it was discovered as a bug in the US and actually in the Texas center, because basically a physician and the operator of the machine took the time to reproduce it and to find out what condition triggers the bug. But no, the FDA found that there was no proper coding review, testing plan, and whatsoever.
Wow, that's a huge deal. I wanted to ask you about, I don't know if you did the research, but maybe speaking about the most notorious bugs in history, bug year 2000.
Yeah.
That was kind of um, whoever old enough to remember, the entire world was prepared for a real catastrophe where nothing will work, the ATMs won't work, the planes will fall from the sky, and it was supposed to be a real apocalypse. But actually, nothing happened. Right,
Right.
there was almost nothing happened. There was like some
Few
small
glitch maybe. Yeah,
glitches
it
here and
was
there, but there was nothing compared to the scare that we all experienced.
true.
And since then, it was 24 years that I'm still thinking sometimes, was it because everybody were so scared that they prepare properly, or there was really no reason to be that scared about it? What do you think?
Yeah, I don't talk about this topic in my talk, but earlier today, one of the keynote talk about Year 2K bug. Um, from what I know, there were really some risk. Maybe it was exaggerated, but there were really some risk, like in the bank systems, ATM that doesn't work and stuff like that. And that would be a really pretty big stuff. So some risk, maybe they were exaggerated, but another thing, as you said, is that many people worked so that it didn't happen. So
Yeah, and
I think
that's
it's a bit of both. It
and
could
yeah.
maybe it will not be an apocalypse, but stuff will happen if you cannot withdraw money. I mean, it was in 2000. We didn't have pay with the phone and stuff like that.
Right.
So if you couldn't get paid or couldn't withdraw money, that
Yeah,
would be
that
really
would be
bad.
very uncomfortable, obviously. Yes, for sure. Well, that was. Is there another one that you want to mention?
Oh,
Like a honorary nomination for
yeah.
the almost worst bug in history?
Yeah, actually, I discussed about different really terrible bugs, and in space industry, they are like I'm obviously talking about Ariane 5 because we're in France. First flight of Ariane 5 lasted less than 40 seconds. Was fully loaded with satellites and all.
And it was a social bug.
Yes,
Wow.
because it reused some stuff from Ariane 4, except that Ariane 5 it's much more powerful. So at some point, they used integer, and then they got an integer overflow. But what I wanted to tell in my talk, and what I want to tell in general, even in my everyday life, is that there are some terrible bugs, but actually us too, we can make bugs that affect people. So right now, I'm doing front end, and in front end, very few of my employers or the client ask for accessibility. So I'm not really good at that because I didn't get the training. Nobody asked me to make the website accessible. It will only happen if we have to by the law. And that's bad because we exclude a lot of people because those people maybe can use a screen reader. Before I was a front-end engineer, I was doing mobile. I hate it because so many websites don't work on mobile. So that's terrible bugs
Yeah,
actually
I
on,
guess
non
I love
quality.
it. I love it. It might not be as
It's not impressive. Yeah, it's not impressive.
scandalous or
Yeah.
as famous, but it's actually bugs that affect a lot of people every
Yes.
day
Yeah.
and make their life miserable. So it's as important as those
Exactly.
that make the news. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and with this profound thought, and it is, I want to thank you, Jean-Francois. That was very interesting. And
Thank
for
you
you
very
folks
much
at
for the
home,
invitation.
stay tuned. We have more interviews in Bill Groposian Lab at Devoxx France coming up very soon. And stay tuned. Thank you, and bye bye.